Please be seated. Mr. Foreman, I understand that the jury has reached a unanimous.
As the jury has come to a decision in the third murder trial for aj-Armstrong. aj-Armstrong is accused of killing his own parents as they slept 7 years ago. We want to take you now inside the jury. Listen in.
State of Texas versus Antonio Armstrong Jr. We, the jury, find the defendant, Antonio Armstrong Jr., guilty of capital murder as charged in the indictment. It's signed the foreperson of the jury. Does either side wish for the jury to be polled?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when I call out your number, I'm going to ask you if this is your verdict, and you say yes it is, or no it is not. All right? And these are your jury numbers, not your panel numbers. All right, juror number 1, is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Juror number 2, is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Juror number 3, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 4, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 5, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 6, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 8, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 9, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 10, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 11, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
And juror number 12, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
All right, so I confirm that is a unanimous verdict. All right, Mr. Armstrong, is there any legal reason, sir, why sentence should now not be pronounced against you?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, having nothing to say, it is now the order of this court that you be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 40 calendar years. You'll be transported by the sheriff to that institution where you will serve out the remainder of life, and you'll get credit for all of your back time. Good luck to you, sir.
I need him over here.
All right, he's got to come up here.
Mr. Armstrong.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude your service with us today. I know this wasn't easy. I know it was difficult, but I can tell you on behalf of myself and the 178th staff, I hope that we made your stay as comfortable as it could be considering this very enormous responsibility that you had. So I know we all appreciate your service, your time, the diligence and thought that you put into this. Typically at these times, the lawyers may want to come back and speak with you. They, oftentimes questions that you have can be answered by them. They may want to ask some thoughts that you have. You're certainly not required to answer any of those questions. It's absolutely voluntary, but it does aid them in future trials and also will answer possibly some of your questions, okay? I do personally want to come back and speak with you, so if you'll stay back there, I'll come on back and then I'll find out for sure whether or not you will come here as well, okay? All right, please retire the jury. All right, jury.
All right, you just watched live the jury deliver a verdict in the aj-Armstrong case. aj-Armstrong unanimously is guilty. All 12 jurors decided that he was guilty of capital murder. The now 23-year-old is sentenced to life. After 40 years, he will have the option for parole, but aj-Armstrong, in his third murder trial, has finally been convicted of capital murder. His 2 previous trials ended in a hung jury. Now today, the 23-year-old who was accused of killing his parents as they slept is convicted and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 40 years. You just heard the judge deliver that unanimous decision live on this stream. We will continue to follow this as we move on into our live coverage on Fox 26 News at 5. You can see our reporter Natalie He was in the courtroom as this decision was delivered, but this has been a lengthy trial. We've been following every single step of this. And again, if you are now just joining us, we just witnessed the jury unanimously decide that aj-Armstrong has been convicted of capital murder. The now 23-year-old was accused of killing his parents 7 years ago while they slept. He's now sentenced to life in prison. You heard the judge announce that, with the possibility of parole. Our reporter Natalie He was in that courtroom following this story, was there as the jury announced their decision. aj-Armstrong had been on trial 2 times before this, but that trial had ended, both those trials had ended in a hung jury. So today we finally have a unanimous decision coming down from the jury. All 12 jurors believe or have decided that aj-Armstrong killed his 2 parents while they slept, and now he is sentenced to life in prison. Our cameras catching the entire thing live on this stream. This has definitely been a lengthy trial. Those jurors have spent day after day in court deliberating, and today we finally have a decision. Fox 26 has been following this every step of the way, and will continue our coverage throughout our evening broadcast and over on our website, fox26houston.com. If you download our app, we'll send you push alerts as we learn more. We do have our reporter who's been in the courtroom, Natalie He. We are standing by to see what she can tell us, if she can give us any new information. But what you saw live on this stream, aj-Armstrong convicted of capital murder. He's convicted in killing his 2 parents while they slept. This all happened years ago. He went through 2 previous trials that both ended in mistrials, and now today he has been convicted of capital murder. It was a unanimous decision by all 12 jurors. So he is sentenced to life in prison. After 40 calendar years, he will have the chance for parole. I am hearing that we do have our reporter Natalie He, who's going to be joining us live right now from the courthouse with some information. Natalie, you were in there as the jury made their decision.
That's exactly right. I just stepped outside of the 178th District Court, where they just announced that verdict, the guilty verdict that's coming 7 years after that night of the shooting. You could audibly hear the family actually reacting to the news right after it. Very emotional for them. They have stood by AJ this entire time, escorting him here to court every single day, standing by him. They were with a civil rights attorney, Randall Callanan, today, talking about that federal lawsuit. So they have really showed up for him this entire time, and it is relatively unusual if you think about it. This involves his parents, it's the same family, so it was kind of emotional standing in there. So right now we are standing by here waiting to hear from the attorneys, the defense attorneys, as well as prosecutors. We are told that District Attorney Kim Ogg will be here. We've seen a lot of her people come in here into the courtroom. So we are expected to hear from them because, of course, this has been 7 years in the making, where they have tried this case 3 times. The first 2 times a hung jury, 3rd time coming to a verdict after 11 hours of deliberations from that jury. 5 hours yesterday, a total of about 6 hours today. So people here in the courtroom, in the hallways, were sitting on the edge of their seat waiting to see if this would happen, or wondering if we would have to go to what other possibility. But now this case coming to a wraps, and so we are expecting to hear from attorneys, those officials, in just a few, and we'll be sure to keep you posted when they show up. I'm going to toss it back to you, Caroline.
Yeah, Natalie, we couldn't quite get a full look of AJ when that decision was announced. What was the mood like in that courtroom when all 12 jurors unanimously agreed that he is now convicted of capital murder?
Quite honestly, it's been relatively the same. He hasn't really showed very much emotion this entire time. His back was faced to us, so I couldn't get a full make of his face, but there really wasn't much of a reaction. You could see from his attorney standing next to him, they put their hands on his back, kind of patting him. But other than that, it's been really, really the same. He's been calm, cool, collected. Even when they announced it, the judge even asking a question, is there any reason they should not immediately take him to prison? Should the authorities wait for any reason? And he said, no, ma'am. That was as simple as that. And it's really been the same throughout this entire trial, this time and the previous two, where he's just been so calm and collected. So really, we haven't heard much reaction from him specifically, but from his family. Once again, very emotional reactions from them, audibly heard in that courtroom. So we are curious to see if they're going to say anything here. Caroline.
Yeah, Natalie, it's certainly been a long time coming, since 2016 when this all happened, whenever his two parents, Antonio Armstrong Sr. and Dawn Armstrong, were found murdered in their sleep. And now all of this leading up to today, with that unanimous decision. Natalie, you've been around a long time. You've worked here a while. Certainly something that you guys have been covering here in Houston. What do you think that the community reaction will be tonight?
That's a really interesting question. And if you ever look on the comments on social media, it's really been very split. I think a lot of people have followed this case since the night it happened 7 years ago, if you can believe it. I mean, time has just passed by, and I think in some ways there is going to be a sense of relief that there is a definitive resolution to this case, because for so long it was just hanging in the balance, waiting to find out whether he would walk away a free man to go back to his family, to his wife, to his kid, or would he remain in prison for at least 40 years. He is sentenced to life in prison, but he will be eligible for parole after 40 years. So I think in some ways there is a little bit of relief instead of walking in this unknown and wondering if the decision went any other way. If they had a hung jury, would we go to another trial? I mean, that is just so much anxiousness there, I think, for the community. So in some ways, I think, even if this may have been the outcome that a lot of people were not expecting, I think it is in some ways a relief for them to have answers finally, to have a jury come to a unanimous verdict after so many years. Caroline.
Yeah, that jury consisted of 7 men and 5 women. They all unanimously decided that AJ Armstrong Jr. is now convicted of capital murder. He is accused of and now convicted of killing his 2 parents in 2016 as they slept in their home in Bel Air. Natalie He, thank you for following this. You can tune in live tonight at 5 p.m. Natalie He will have a full breakdown of exactly what happened here. We'll continue to follow this online on fox26houston.com, and we'll continue to follow this into our evening broadcasts, and we'll send you push alerts too if you download our Fox 26 News app. Until then, we will see you at 5.